This episode was originally released on June 28th, 2023. Are you wondering why you're just hearing it now? All episodes release first and foremost on our Patreon page. You can become a patron at chillinois.net/Patreon. That's chillinois.net/PATREON. It only costs $3 a month. It's one of the best ways to support our show. And like I said, it gives you exclusive access to new episodes as they release. Enjoy the episode. I literally am saying it again on the record just so that I can remember it, because I have a feeling we're going to get so fucking baked. I'm not going to remember anything after this. I said, do you have water, weed, and everything you need to have a good time? And I did not even mean to be like Dr. Seuss before we started, but there I go.
It's definitely a super. You're gonna have to use that now at the beginning of every episode.
Exactly. Well, hey, welcome back. For folks that may not know you, why don't you reintroduce yourself to the audience of the Chillinois podcast?
Well, first of all, hello everybody. So my name's Nicole, and I am I'm a little bit of everywhere in the cannabis community. I'm an advocate, a medical patient. I assist with medical cards. I'm an influencer, and I'm an ambassador. I own 2 different marketing agencies. I am all over. So pretty much if you're involved in cannabis in Illinois, I've probably met you at some point, and I love every step of it, every step of the way.
Hell yeah. Hell fucking yes. That's so true. I've seen you at so many different events across the state of Illinois from the very beginning. And by the very beginning, I mean a little bit after COVID, right? Because that's not when it was like
Well,
weird. We weren't even, well, were there any events before COVID?
I mean, not
There was
really
like such a
many.
short window, before like
There was, and which we are changing that, which we'll dive into. But I started in the industry in 2018.
okay.
So, before it was even recreational, I became a medical patient, and then I kind of just, it snowballed effect, and here I am. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, cool. Thank you for sitting down with me today. And what are you smoking on to get things started?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. Um, it's my birthday, so my neighbor dropped me off some, so I don't know what it is.
Hey, that's always
No idea.
fun. That's always the best way to roll. Well, cool. I'm smoking
It's
some
tasty.
what's that?
I said it's tasty though, that's for sure. Yeah, what are you?
I've got some OKC from Symphonia Farms. I like the citrusy strains, when you can really smell the citrus, and this one definitely has that.
I love that. That's awesome. From what?
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
the cultivator?
Symphonia Farms. They're a cultivator from Michigan. They
Uh,
actually just like a small shop, so they cultivate on site, sell on site. It's a really cool little shop owned by a disabled veteran. So
I love that. I love that. We're taking a Michigan tour. I'm gonna have to remember this. Send me their info.
oh, I definitely will. They're super cool. Um, and they would love to have you, I'm sure. If you give them a heads up, I'm sure that you could even see the cultivation center and stuff, because again, it's on site. So
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to get that info from you for sure.
for sure. Well, hey, tell us about all the things that you have going on. I know that you got a lot going on, so feel free to go anywhere and everywhere. I mean, one of the things we talked about in our episode with Maddie is high focus media. So if that's a place you want to start, or wherever you want to start, honestly.
Yeah. So there's a few things. So as I have my own entity and my own media company for Canna Love Nicole, and then we have High Focus Media, which is a huge team effort. And Maddie being on my team, oh man, I love those girls so much. We met last year at Canna Fest. And we formed a business relationship, and we had this bring the community together and have a safe place to sesh. And we did it. We ultimately, like, fast forward, here we are. We're hosting amazing events for the community, a lot of free stuff for the community to simply just to give back, as well as just basic advertising, like with brands and everything, as far as like content creation and brand activations and all of that.
Very cool. Very cool. And I'm just noticing, I was watching your connection, you flashed a little bit. For the most part, you're actually very clear. So we'll just keep that in the back of our minds in case you have to switch networks if you're able to. Um, but anyways,
Okay.
anyways, just saying that for our listeners. I think everything, most of what you said was legible, but the very beginning just cut out when you're talking about making safe spaces to consume and those events that you're doing. You kind of cut out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, that's very key for us, of making a safe place for us stoners to set, you know. I mean, unfortunately, we're unable to legally walk down the street and smoke, but it's perfectly okay for cigarettes, or even, I mean, not legally for beer or whatever, but people can walk around
But
smoking
it's not like you
cigarettes or
don't see it happening. Am I wrong?
exactly, you know, not that it's legal, but it happens. And so we want to be able to provide that safe space, and as well as supporting different cultivators and brands, and supporting the company all in one. It's truly just full circle, and we're just connecting all the pieces.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about bars, we were talking to a law enforcement officer recently on the show, which was pretty crazy. But they were talking about safe consumption lounges, but they were talking about it in the context of heroin. So let's step back from that, though, and let's just talk about the simplest form and the most accepted form of a consumption lounge, which is a bar. I mean, like literally, like, and it's not like it's super crazy. And correct me if I'm wrong, obviously, or like, you know it. You can jump in
Yeah,
anytime.
yeah.
But like from my perspective and in my experience, like the bartender will check your ID, but maybe not, maybe not. But there's also this idea that they can cut you off at a certain point, but that's also kind of like really subjective. You know what I mean? So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that with alcohol, a substance that's like so crazily obviously impairing, we have like very loose consumption rules. Meanwhile, cannabis, I'm not saying that people can't have bad reactions, but like you say, we don't really have very many places to safely consume. How
Right.
about that? Yeah.
And you know, hopefully that's changing. We are actively trying to get like more and more people involved. Like, you would be surprised actually with the bars and stuff and places that we partner with. They are all for it. So it's not like Chicago's not ready for it. It's not like it wouldn't be accepted or voted a pass or anything like that. I just, like, it just needs to get done. And like, unfortunately, it's expensive. It's really, really, really expensive. And trying to even get started on that. They make things difficult. They truly do.
And
So, but hopefully we're heading in the right direction.
yeah, I hope so too. Like I wonder, so, and this might just be how things work down in Yeehaw, Illinois, but I went to Carbondale to talk to some of the people from the Cannabis Research Center. And afterwards, we went to this bar. I think it's called The Cellar. Shout out to The Cellar. They're super fucking cool. Um,
Okay. Okay.
uh, they just, so it's a bar, but they just let you smoke weed out in the patio. Like they just let you smoke weed. And I was like, so what's crazy is that I didn't believe the person that told me we could. They're like, yo, you can just go grab your weed and roll up right here. You know that, right? And I was like, seriously? Like, because, as you're saying, like the way you just reacted to it, it's relatively unheard of in the state of Illinois. And so I went and grabbed my weed and I got it out. And what's funny is that the table next to us, they actually did react to us. And a lady, I think I've told this story once on the show before, but for folks that haven't heard it, like this lady was like, hey, she said something. I like had my weed out. I had my grinder out, my rolling tray. She's like, hey, it's residential only. And I was like, what? And the people that were with me, again, people that are like faculty for a college, right? It's not like a program director and everything else. They're totally fine with what I'm doing, but this lady and this group next to me starts saying something, and my group was like, don't worry about her, it's fine, like the manager said we can do this. And so I was like, what do you mean it's residential? She's like, you can only smoke at your house. I was like, no, they said that I can smoke out here. And what's funny is the manager came out and we had an interaction later, and she confirmed to me, she's like, yeah, don't let people give you a hard time about it. Some people complain that we let people smoke cigarettes out there. You know what I tell them? Move tables. And
Yeah,
that's the
I mean,
same thing with
simple.
weed. She said it's the same thing with weed. And I was like, cheers to you. I gave her a fucking tip, and it was just such a cool little place. So shout out to the seller. And I guess the reason I bring it up is like,
If I
what's
go,
stopping other people from allowing what's stopping other people? Oh, sorry, did I cut out for a moment? I apologize. I noticed you were
just
saying
for a
something.
brief moment, it's okay. No, you're good. No,
Um,
you're right. Go ahead.
so I apologize, but what I was saying was, I wonder what is stopping other bars from doing that. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you think that there's like a fine or like, well, like how
I
much
don't know.
trouble would they realistically get into? I don't know. I've never looked into that for allowing open consumption without having a
And it's like they're not it's not like they're endorsing it. It's not like they're saying like you
right.
can come here and smoke weed. They're just saying, hey, just if somebody's bothered by it, tell them to move, you know? So they're not endorsing it, but
Yeah,
they're not
yeah. I
also
mean,
like, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to enforce the law? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we're
that's
in
like
the
the
other room,
police's
they'll
job.
smoke in themselves. So right, right. Who are they? I
Yeah.
love that though. I mean, that's the support that we need. I think there was one bar in Chicago, but like it's far and but that's what we like to do is we'll find places or different event halls, and that's why.
Hey, Nicole.
Okay.
All right, folks. Apologies. We had some technical difficulties. Technology. We were talking about consumption, and I believe you were saying something to the effect of there is a bar. I heard few and far between.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was like I think one bar that I found out in Chicago where you could just openly consume on the back patio, kind of like what you were saying. It wasn't like come smoke here, but it was like we don't hate it, we don't hate it. But which is exactly why we bring the sesh bus to these events, because we can make any venue a consumption event by simply bringing a bus into you walk outside out the front door and walk onto a bus, and then there's a mobile lounge right there. So that's what we strive to do, and then to normalize it and just make sure that there is that safe place. So not every bar is going to think like that, but that's where we come in and have our kind of people be more comfortable and be able to enjoy situations in our proper mindset other than necessarily drinking.
Yeah. And I know this is a nitpicky thing, but am I correct in saying that sometimes the sesh bus will be there and you can only vape, and sometimes you can do both? Or am I wrong?
No, on the sesh bus you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, you can smoke flower or vape there, whatever you want.
Oh, cool. For some reason, I thought I heard like they were like at one event that like you can only vape, and I was like, what? That seems silly.
No, I've never been on there and they said no flower. So
Yeah,
I
and I want to be clear, I was not there. I heard it like totally like third hand. Like,
Oh, okay.
I don't
Yeah,
even
no,
know if they were talking about it. So yeah,
yeah, no, so we like to provide that as the safe place for people, for our type of people, I when I go out I like to step outside and smoke a joint and then go back in and enjoy the festivities, and especially in the winter I don't want to stand outside, it's cold.
yeah, yeah, hell yeah, yeah. So I did the sesh bus for the first time. Um, it was at uh the Grown In 420 event. It was the Wake
Okay,
and
okay.
Make. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. They have the snacks on there and the water, and like they provide whatever sponsor sample or swags. I love it.
I
I
didn't
love it.
realize that I could grab as many as I wanted, because like I know you can't just grab as many as you want, but you know what I mean? Like I apparently I was the only person that didn't receive the memo that you can grab more than one, because this guy was like, yeah, they just told me like, grab a few, grab some for your friends, grab it, whatever. And I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have gotten that memo, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was a really good time. It was just cool to be able to sample the products. That is one thing that is missing from the cannabis scene in Illinois. And I say it's missing from the cannabis scene. No, I experienced it. I just wish it would be more widespread. And it sounds like maybe that's what you're shooting for. So
Yeah. Yeah. We like to bring accessories and all of that because, like, honestly, getting I mean, us as people saying this brand is fire, this is really good, whatever the case may be. I mean, people ultimately trying the product is going to sell itself. And that's what it is basically for the brands on the business side of things, is getting your brand into your target marketing audience. So you legitimately have hundreds of people that walk into the dispensary to purchase cannabis. And um that's the main idea, is to get it and try, so you're not depending on names and hearsay. You're actually like, this is the product that we have, this is what we have to offer, try it, so next time think of us. And I truly think, like, and it's amazing because not only do you get to walk on the bus as like a consumer, you personally, it's some free weed, who doesn't like free weed? So
yeah.
it's like a win-win for everybody. You get the audience, and then you get like the hospitality of the bus. So you walk in, you get handed like a joint or whatever it is, a pack chillum, maybe sometimes even a vape. And then you have the snack bar and the water, and then the advertising for everything is amazing. Like, it's truly just full circle and everybody wins. It's a win for everybody.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I say, if I see it again, I will definitely hop on that thing. And I didn't realize that literally they were just asking people they were walking by like, "Hey, come on. Come in." Like anybody could come in. As long as you were 21,
Yeah,
of course. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they'll ID you and you get like your wristband or
right,
whatever before
right.
walking in. But it's truly, we are like the most welcoming community. Like, literally, if you're walking by, like, you want to join us, come hang out. And I love that. I truly love that about the community.
Well,
I do.
the reason I brought that up is because I thought I thought it was all people from the conference. Because I mean, I was going to that conference, and it was
Right.
mentioned to me by people from the conference to go there, and there were people from the conference there. So I was like, but I was saying hi to everybody, hi, 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 and what are you doing at the conference? What are you looking forward to? And this one guy's like, the conference. I'm just getting high because I was walking by the bus.
You're like, oh.
I was like, oh, cool. I didn't realize like everybody was just allowed to come on here. That's super chill, you know?
Yeah, yeah. That's so funny. He was probably like, what? Oh,
Yeah, what
okay, yeah.
conference? He's like, are we conferring to smoke more weed like this type of conference? Because this is awesome, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So that's so funny though. But yeah, no, it is. And that just goes to show, it is truly an inviting community. And like, everybody who I've met through the years, there's still people that I talk to that I've met back in 2018 when it was just medical, between dispensary bud tenders to management, to even now talking to all of them and just watching the industry grow. It's been pretty very slow, but we're getting there, we're getting there. I'm proud of us. I mean, I definitely very proud of us. Because then, even if, like, I live way up north, so I'm up by Wisconsin. And if I drive, like, I can have my medicine on me, but then if I drive like 10 minutes in the wrong direction, it goes from medicine to felony real fast. So even though Illinois is way behind, I'm really excited that we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. It's legal in quotes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. It is legal in quotes. Really quick, I was just displaying highfocusmedia.com. I just figured I'd throw it out there, you know.
Yes. Yes. It highlights the team and breaks down, as you can see, everything that we do, who we are. We need to update those numbers a little bit, but and basically just our media pages, get a hold of us. Let's work together. And even if you just want information about Profesh Sesh or anything like that, always just shoot one of us a message, and we're always going to respond. We are truly about communities.
Yeah. We talked about Profesh Sesh with Maddie, but in case people missed our conversation with Maddie, can you give us like what Profesh Sesh is in a bottle?
So it's initially, so we've been kind of pivoting. So initially it went to being a professional networking, but being able to smoke type situation. And then we got such a variety of people, which is amazing. So we ended up getting like industry heads to the simple consumer and everybody in between, with bud tenders, sales, everybody. So we started getting a very wide, but then the average consumer started coming in, and now it's just more focused of like towards a safe place. We are rolling out our Friendly Buds a membership program, which I'm really excited about. I'm sure she mentioned that. So our profesh sessions are events to network and be able to sesh while you're networking. A lot of places out here, actually none of the network events you're allowed to smoke at. And me personally, if I'm not smoking and I'm talking business, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just like, I'm just like, can we go smoke now? Like I'm stumbling. I don't even know what I'm saying. So ultimately, I lost me there. So we wanted to be able to provide a space where we could network and have everybody, like you could be just a daily consumer and you could be talking to an industry head and not even know it game.
Hell yeah.
If that made sense. I'm kind of rambling, but
No, it did. Yeah, it made sense, and it's a super cool concept. And I like just keeping it called Profesh Sesh because it's almost like just keep it profesh, you know.
Yeah. And stay chill, sesh responsibly. We're not
Correct.
trying to like get crossfaded and like make it a party or anything. We're still talking business, but we're doing it more casual and true to who we are as a company and our vibe versus a suit and tie, say, or underground events. We do everything legally and we do everything chill, and I adore it. I love our community.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I just saw a picture of you with Jim Belushi, and I haven't seen the full episode yet, but I know that Belushi Farms is active in Illinois. What are you able to share about that? That's just super cool. I know that maybe you're not, I don't want you, I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of Jim Belushi, but I'm sure it was a cool experience. Like, can you at least tell us about that?
I can tell you a little bit. Yeah, and obviously I can't share everything.
Right,
Yes, I
right.
had lunch. I had lunch with Jim, and he's wonderful. So initially we started by pulling our crystals out of our pockets, and it was like instant bonding. We started talking about chakras and meditation. So it was really cool. He's really down to earth. And I just want to note, like on the record, that he is the sweetest person to wait staff, and that says so much to me as a person. Like his interactions with the waiters and or waitresses, it was just all genuine and just truly amazing. So that was great. But so they're coming to Illinois, and they will be rolling out shortly. I want to say might start seeing stuff in the next few weeks. You're in the next few months, you're going to start seeing his name pop up heavily, and we have lots of stuff in the works. And I'm really, really excited to be a part of this project, and the fact that I'm even able to represent such a true like Chicagoan, like this is his home city, and the fact that he personally reached out to have lunch and discuss about marketing and everything in his brand in Illinois, it truly means so much to me, and he's a wonderful human. He truly is. I'm excited, and I can't say much because I don't know
Right.
exactly, what I can share, but within the next few months you're going to see us everywhere. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, yeah, no. I was just totally asking about having lunch with him. I just figured that was cool. Probably a cool
Oh yeah.
experience.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I don't know, did you see the picture of like him with the BLT?
Yeah.
He like grabbed my plate and was like, "Here, I want to take a picture with it." So he was like, he's really cool. He's really cool. He's genuine, and I'm really excited to work with him. He's really hands-on with his flower and his product, and I adore that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, what else cool is cooking with you and the crew? Whatever, what's going on?
So we have a series coming up. We have beach pop-ups in Chicago since it's going to be summer in the works. We have some like a breakfast thing coming up, syrup and sauce. I don't know, a whole bunch of little pop-ups, like just series of three, keep moving around the city outside of Profesh Sesh. I will be going down in September to Humboldt County representing Illinois for CannaFest because I won the Cannabis Influencer of the Year. So I'm going down there to speak on stage, and then we'll be back in Chicago for early in 2024.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff we're in the works for. So it's all going to start rolling out very soon. It's all about tying up those loose ends before we make lots of announcements.
Yeah. Tell me what you can about your upcoming trips to Michigan. You mentioned a little bit out about it. I'm just curious only because, as I just mentioned, will if I'm going to purchase cannabis, I'll probably purchase it from Michigan. So I'm curious what are you
And
looking for in that experience?
yeah, dispensaries. So basically that's exactly what you said is when you go to Michigan, you don't really know 100% of all the brands because it's not something that we have around here. So we want to get out there and highlight what's out there, different dispensaries and sales that they have if they offer what their in-house is, any highlights that can make you guys stand out from anybody else. We want to get out there. We want to truly get out and see Michigan and see, obviously we know what the hype is all about, but we want to do a tour along. I have a whole plan mapped out. But pretty much be able to report back to Illinois that if you're ever visiting Michigan and you're looking to grab for while you're there, because don't cross state lines with your cannabis, people. So if you're looking to pick up, we're gonna help guide you. We're gonna say this is out there, this brand is out here. We liked this strain. The people at this dispensary were very nice. Kind of just help other people's experiences go better, basically,
Yeah.
is a good way to say it.
Yeah. I'm curious, are you and if you're not aware, I'd be happy to provide you with some information. I'm honestly not the best person to ask on this one, but I always just ask this person that I know in Michigan. Are you aware of, have you heard of the MCMA or whatever was going on in Michigan where they were trying to dismantle caregivers?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Fill me in.
Well, again, I'm not the best person to ask about it, but I can send you the information that I have, and I send it to you in the spirit of like these are brands that in Michigan have apparently, yeah, lobbied and tried to dismantle things that are, like I said, this is like a caregiver law they were trying to touch, and they were also trying to do with licensing stuff with licensing as well, if I'm not mistaken. But I believe the group no longer exists, but the companies that were a part of it obviously still do. So there's a list of those companies. I think it's important to consider. Um,
Absolutely, yeah. And then it would be the starting point, a good starting point of like a deep dive into research one night while I'm reaching out to brands and I'm trying
sure.
to plan to this route. So if there is anybody listening in Michigan and you're a brand or a dispensary and want to be considered for our highlight trip, reach out. Just reach out to us. It'll be awesome. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Well, again, yeah, sorry that I bring up a topic that I can't even tell you about, but I'll give you the reason I bring it up is I can, since you said you're doing the research and stuff, I can try to hook you up with somebody that might be able to help you out. That's so
Yeah. Yeah, no, appreciate it. Definitely. I'll take that resource and I'll run and I'll do my research because, obviously we want to support good companies. So researching will definitely be down a big wormhole. Yeah. No, I appreciate that so much.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that weed was really good. How was your joint?
It was good. I know. I'm gonna roll another one just to keep my hands busy. But
That
no,
sounds like a good
I'm
plan.
so happy. So I know down south, people were talking about bringing profesh sessions down in different areas in Illinois and everything like that. So down south has actually been on our radar of trying to get something down there. You think people down there will like it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, definitely. And there are a few different consumption lounges down here that I think would be more than happy to partner with you, including that place that I mentioned earlier, the Cellar. They're not a consumption lounge, they're a bar. But since you mentioned you partner with other bars in Chicago, well, they sound like they'd be cool, you know. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but if you've ever heard of the Luna Lounge in Cesar, have you heard of that?
I have actually. I don't know how or where, but I have.
Yeah. I plan to go there sometime. I was in touch with the person that runs that. But it's a consumption lounge in Southern Illinois. There's another consumption lounge called 3 Mile Hideaway, I believe.
I
Um,
don't think I've heard of that one.
yeah, they're pretty close together. What's funny is that like the two that I'm aware of are pretty close together in Southern Illinois. I believe that one's in
And then when you
Harrisburg, Illinois.
okay, I was gonna say when you say southern, how southern are we going?
Yeah, I'm talking fucking yeehaw. You're down there and yeah, it's far. So that's
Southern,
what's
southern.
yeah, for you, that's a really long trip. But that's where the consumption lounges are, interestingly enough.
There's one up here by me. Actually, my home dispensary is a lounge. The Rise Mundaline Lounge.
Yeah.
That one's my home. I was actually up there last night for the 1937 launch event. Have you tried them yet? Or are you guys even seeing a lot of craft grow down there yet?
I'm not sure. I don't really go, like I said, I have been able to go to the dispensaries here in Illinois for just quite a while, just like moral reasons, but also like fiscal reasons. It's really expensive right now.
It is.
So
And you grow, right?
yes. Yep. Yeah. So luckily I am privileged in that sense. You know what I mean? Other people
Yes.
have to go to the store. So if they want to get cannabis, you know.
That's true. I mean, I do grow myself, but I don't have any homegrown left right now. And my next crop is still in the tent.
I was
So
gonna
I'm kind of
ask.
on the in between right now. So
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We've got a canine friend that has strong feelings.
I know there's like somebody walking by and she's
It's okay. It's okay. I need
that's
to get, you're reminding me, I need to get some more planted because I've got like, I think I've only got two plants going and they're ready basically for harvest. I need to chop them down, which means I need to get seeds popped, you know?
it's time for that transition.
Mm-hmm.
I have four that I'm gonna flip to flower in the next like 2 weeks. And then I have a clone that is like, I don't know, maybe 8 inches tall that I'm gonna bring outside once I flip those ones to flower.
Very cool.
So I'm excited for those ones. I gotta stay within the legal limit, but my tent isn't big enough for all five. So I gotta bring somebody outside. So I'm gonna probably do that this weekend, I think, to get that one going. But I am horrible at growing. Horrible. It's not easy at all. I mean, weed is a weed, but
Sure.
good, very hard.
Yeah. It is there. Things can pop up for sure. And it can be really tough and
I've
devastating.
been I've been using yes, very devastating. I actually lost a whole crop last year. But I've been using actually this new brand that's taking off. They're local and he's a veteran and he is starting a company called Door Bliss. So he's a veteran that will come and help either bring your crop back to life or even just start with you, just give you any knowledge no matter what process that you're at. So I got root lock out on mine. because my pH meter was just, it wasn't calibrated, I guess, and I fucked it up. So I'm the problem. And so he helped me get through all of that. And now we're using Simply Pro, and because it's so simple, because it has to be for me. And he's literally been coming in once a week and like holding my hand through this process. And when I say holding my hand, like I will send him pictures like every day, and I am texting him and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, just ride the wave. You're fine. You're fine. You know, so I'm really excited to work with this newer company and see how it goes. But so far, honestly, I've had nothing but great experiences, and my crop is coming back to life when I thought it was a goner. So there's hope. There's hope, and I'm really excited for that. And I'm excited for services like that even being available.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's funny. I was talking to somebody and I was like, yeah, dude, there's no reason you can't do that. I mean, people are allowed to grow. Why wouldn't you be allowed to teach them? It's just like people are allowed to play piano. Like, why wouldn't you be allowed to teach them?
Exactly.
You know?
It's all about knowledge. Like there's piano teachers out there, but yeah, like it's literally just like a growing class, and you don't need like a degree in growing or horticulture, you know, like it's all knowledge, and it's truly amazing. I'm learning so much, so much. I might even not kill my next crop with everything that I've learned. So there's potential. There's definitely potential there.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, hell yeah. What are some things that you're looking forward to? I mean, I'm looking forward to this summer. I guess I'll kick that off.
Yeah, summer. So I'm honestly, out of all of our pop-ups, my favorite one that I'm looking forward to is going to be our beach pop-ups. So we're gonna have like beach fires and just swimming during the day and volleyball and our friendly buds hanging out smoking, you know. That those will be more friendly buds memberships of just, we're going to be over here, come meet us, and we might have brands there, we might not, it's all going to determine. And honestly, just being outside, that's what I'm looking forward to, is being outside this summer.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Everything's more, I feel like everything now is just fully back open. It's not like half-assed like it was last summer. So it's on this summer, and we're going to be outside for sure.
Yeah. I feel like the materials
I like the
for these events have to be pretty simple. I mean, you bring probably what? Lighters, water, you know.
Yeah, like pretty much. A maybe an umbrella. I don't know. Yeah, a cooler full of waters, because that's key. There is nothing worse than going to an event and being so thirsty, and like that's
Yeah,
the only thing on your mind, especially a smoking event. Like you need to make sure there's enough water. Um, but yeah, so like water, a table maybe if like I don't know even. But
sure.
a beach bag, but there's not going to be much to it. It's mostly just going to be hanging out, just enjoying, and just enjoying life in the moment with the community, more than anything else really. So, but it will be one of those, we're going to have some exclusive events through, like, you know, only friendly buds there, but we're going to have definitely always the free tier of like staying with Profesh Session, other things as well. So it's just going to be another perk of being a friendly buds member, of going to these awesome things. And I don't know, the beach one I'm just totally psyched about for sure. You're gonna have to come up to Chicago for some of them. We're gonna have to like get dates down to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like I said, after having experienced the sesh bus and just being able to like have that experience in Illinois with it, because like it's always I always have to travel like to a place like Denver or something like that with more liberal cannabis laws. Uh you know, to have like, or just a more liberal cannabis culture maybe is what I'm looking for. um to have that, the experience that I had in Chicago, it was super cool. Like I said, never had that here in Illinois. So
I love it. And that's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. And I know Maddie is working. I'm not too sure if she mentioned ICA at all. I'm sure she did.
yeah.
But working towards, you know, actively changing that and making Illinois more stoner friendly, you know. And that's important. It's really important. Like you said, bars are everywhere and it's so like okayed, and cigarettes are okay, but like why not weed?
Hmm.
Why not weed? Seriously. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, That's when I say Illinois has come a very long way because we do have the ability to get the sesh bus and be able to do things, but they just need to fully legalize the plant. And I know you're solely on that, and I'm stuck on it too. They need to get over it and legalize it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess the only thing I think we should be concerned about or ready for is just like the idea of people saying that like we're quote unquote going back in time by having smoking lounges, because you do realize people are going to say that, right? Like they're going to say like, here's the thing. I argue we wouldn't be going back in time. We would be staying with the times because there are still hookah lounges and smoking lounges, and so there should be cannabis lounges. We're not, you know what I mean? Like those are exceptions to the Smoke Free Illinois Act for a reason. And I think we should have exceptions that include cannabis, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like you stated earlier, like for they have the hookah lounges, but then they also have like the drinking side of it. It's a bar. It's a bar,
Right.
and we should be able to have it's a cannabis bar. We just call it a lounge. So like if you don't want us smoking on the street or as we walk down or anything, you give us a space and provide a space that we're able to go safely consume. You know, they're kind of just that's the hard part about it is that they're kind of gatekeeping. And I agree, we're not going back. We are keeping up with the times because things are ever changing. And now that like the just say no slogan is like out of
Yeah.
there, you know. And people are more open-minded. We're growing, honestly, we're growing. I don't think we're going back at all. We're definitely growing and keeping up for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think we should be prepared for that, you know, because I mean, let's be honest. What would you say to somebody to like calm them down about, let's say, smoking in a bar? Like, well, if all of a sudden these bars have smoking sections, aren't we going back? Like we just said, there are bars with smoking sections. But if it becomes like really popularized and all of a sudden there's a smoking section again, you know what I mean? What would you say to somebody like that, you know, to calm them
I
down?
I would say we're gonna treat it exactly like tobacco, and we're gonna make sure the fans are blowing this way so you won't even be bothered.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that what they did with cigarettes? They were like, "Oh, we're gonna just turn the fans on, and you're gonna be fine." And it's everybody, you know. I'm like, "Well, if the fans are on, I don't see the big deal, you know." But I think that as long as like with proper ventilation, I think that was a big thing though. Also, like in the '90s. I'm sorry, my dog's like, there's kids playing outside now, and they're like
It's okay.
protecting but like as long as now since keeping up with the times, we can actually install proper ventilation and make it so it's not going to be like some big puffy smoky cloud that everybody's sitting on. I think that with technology and everything, it's totally not even going to be bad. Like if they choose to implement smoking, which I would absolutely, you know, obviously for, it's one of those things that you kind of go in expecting there to be smoking. Kind of like the cigarettes back in the day. If you went into a bar as a non-smoker, you're coming home smelling like cigarettes because that was it. So I would say plan accordingly.
That I think that's the best advice, because honestly, I was about to say I agree with you in concept on the ventilation thing, but we actually had a researcher on who apparently was the person, if I remember correctly, that discovered, you're aware of secondhand smoke, right? This person discovered the concept of third hand smoke. Third hand smoke,
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay.
But she did studies. She's like works for college in San Francisco or something like that. And she goes to consumption lounges, consumption events. She goes to different consumption lounges too. Some that are dab only, some that are smoke and dab, some that are, you know, smoke only, but takes this device and records the ppm, the particles in the air and stuff. And she actually said that I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, folks, will put a link to this episode in the description so you can hear it from her. She gave a whole presentation on my podcast. It was crazy, but I believe she actually showed data to show that ventilation made it worse, which is
Oh,
crazy. And I don't bring that up to be like, gotcha, Nicole. I bring that up to say we should wear that on our
no.
sleeve, because what you ended on was perfect. You're like, look, be aware of the risks and accept them. That's freedom, baby. And I'm not saying to you,
Yeah,
sorry. I know you're. I'm not saying
no.
calling you baby, but that's America, baby. That type of
Right,
thing.
right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right,
But that's what it ultimately comes down to. That's what I would tell somebody if they were like, "Oh my God, smoking and everything like that." And it's like, why are we the bad guys? Like, why is it like, why is that the bad thing? Like, I think you truly need to just plan accordingly.
mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to be around it, don't go to these venues and period, but we deserve a safe place just like any drinker does, or any place that you can safely do stuff, which really there's not much, but mostly bars, mostly
Right,
bars.
right. Yeah. So thank you for humoring me on that one, because again, I didn't bring that up to be like, bam. But I think we should be prepared for
Yeah.
people to, and you should even be like, you know what, I know this, like, you volunteer that information, be like, look, I'm just being honest, but here's the thing, we're accepting the risks, you know because
I'm interested though about the filtration because it'll make sense if it's just like rotating the smoke throughout the room without like
yeah,
the proper whatever the case may be. So I'm definitely interested in that because that's interesting to know. That's really fun, cool.
yeah, I'll put the link for folks that want to check it out. Again, the presentation in depth, we'll put it in the podcast description, because I'm probably butchering some of the details, most likely, because we're both obliterated right now.
Very, very much so. Very much so.
Well, hey, I want to give you the space, because I know I've been throwing you in many different directions with my questions. Was there anything that you specifically wanted to talk about tonight before we closed out?
What I need right now, I actually have a call to action from the community of what I need, and it brings us back to the Jim Belushi. Okay, so I need anybody who does shop at dispensaries to ask management about getting Blues Brothers on the shelves. When are they coming? We need request forums. So when I'm talking to everybody and the dispensaries, they already have people asking for them. So that's what I need help with currently. And I want to ask Chillinois, if you shop at a dispensary, ask for Jim Belushi, Belushi Farms, and Blues Brothers, because we're going to be coming out. We're going to be coming hard, and we need the people want it, and we're going to get so excited for it. You're going to see lots of things, and that's like a big focus right now. Obviously, HFM is, but this is on a time crunch with all of the releases and everything, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. So if anybody out there can go in and ask, I would truly appreciate that, for sure. That and follow High Focus Media, period. We have a great team going. We have those lots of things coming up, and we try to make it eventful for everybody. So come to our events, come hang out, and come say hi. So I also, another thing I've noticed that people will like at events, like if we're talking or something, or somebody recognizes me off Instagram, I catch them like just looking, and it's, come say hi to me. Come say hi to me. I'm always like, hi, how are you? I'm Nicole, and always introduce myself. But if you're listening to this, don't creep. Don't creep. Come say hi to us. We are so nice. I promise you. I truly promise you. But I've been noticing that more and more. And like, I don't want people to feel like they can't come say hi to us, because we want to meet the community. We want to be able to get out there. We want the feedback on our events, because truly we do it for you. So if there's something that we can improve on, or in any aspect, we want to hear it so we can make your experiences more better at these events, for sure. So follow HIFO and ask for Belushi Farms on shelves. Those are my two things I wanted to touch.
Yeah, yeah, folks. And if I could just say, return to something I said earlier with respect to, Michigan and brands to really the list and the information I'll be sending you is brands to avoid, because they have tried to target consumer, things that are for the consumer, right? Or what we would consider to be true legalization. And so I encourage people to do that same research on companies in Illinois. And I know that most of the companies in Illinois fall into that criteria. So it'd be interesting to get them to acknowledge, maybe like, or try to like put some lobbying dollars behind some things, because some of these policies that, that would, like consumption, for example, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I would also love to see them put lobbying dollars behind home grow and other things that would benefit the consumer. I mean, we saw the did you see the bill that could potentially take odor out of the equation for vehicles? That's pretty good.
Isn't it? I love that, but isn't it? I could be wrong now on this, so correct me. Isn't it the raw cannabis is not probable search. It's only burnt cannabis.
I believe actually the newest version of the bill, and it could change. This is the thing. Even we're talking
Right.
about it now, it could change like right now. It could literally change right now. But the most recent version I saw had burnt and unburnt. So burnt and unburnt is
Oh,
what I saw. And
okay.
and it, yeah, which would be nice because that is closer to what would be full legalization. And it's nice to see that language get as far as it did. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to get us to where we want to be, and I truly feel like we will eventually, but any activation and everybody getting involved and showing up to these press conferences and everything downstairs and actually being the voice of the industry, all the stuff that you do is just truly amazing. I've even told people, like, for legitimate sources, whether it is controversial or not, you're going to post a quote because people deserve the information. And we have to keep speaking of it and causing a roar, because that's the only way change is going to be made, is if we let them know that it needs to be changed. And
Yeah.
as long as we keep up with that, I feel like in the next I don't know, 15 years maybe we could legal. I don't know, but
Right. And
one
that's
day.
where I'm coming from with that. It's like, for example, members of CBAI right now are pushing for like a very specific agenda, but I could be wrong. I'll check it really quick, but I believe that that bill that I just mentioned is not mentioned as one of their legislative priorities. It's just like, you know, I just think that we could use support from those big companies for things like that. And so that's
Absolutely.
everything you just said is exactly why I brought that up. Um, Folks, check out my episode I did with Pamela Altoff for There I Go Again. I'm really high right now. And so if you want the accurate details for what their legislative priorities are this session, check out the episode I did. And if she doesn't mention that, well, there you go. Um, you know what I mean?
That's
So
so funny. Yeah, no, we just got to keep at it, and eventually something's got to give, and we're on the right track. As even though it's slow, I am grateful for it. It's not like Illinois is all bad, because we are making progress in comparative to other states, but we just got to keep at it. And Hypho and myself personally, and even you, we're not stopping anytime soon.
no,
So we're just getting going, and I'm very excited to see where the industry goes, even in the next 5 years, honestly.
yeah. Yeah, to your point, Brad Spearson said, it's all about how you break through, right? And if you just rewind the tape, Chicago, weed, illegal, how do you change that? Maybe this was that baby step. And one of the questions I asked Shalene Title recently is kind of what we're talking about. Like, well, how do we get energy to complete what we started? Because I don't feel like it's finished. And
Right.
she reminded me that that's how a lot of things with civil rights worked. Think about, like, and I know this is like a big topic or whatever, so we don't have to get into it because we're about to close. But like, think about slavery. It's not like one day everything ended with slavery. Like, we're still dealing with the ramifications of it to this day. You know what I mean? And so
Absolutely.
similarly, it's not like just on January 1st, 2020, that everything's going to be
That's it.
solved. Now,
Right.
ideally, we would have taken a different path. And it's something we're going to be talking about more in depth in the future. But I mean, we've covered it in the past, but we're going to be going in deep on it in the future. But, anyways, that's a whole different conversation. Forgive me for going all over the place today, Nicole. Thank you for smoking a lot of weed with me and having a good
Yeah.
time. Before I go, or before we go, did that conversation trigger anything else that you wanted to say before we go?
Um, uh, yeah, just progress, not perfection in this industry. We have to remember that, like you said, we're not going to flip a switch and it's going to be amazing one day. But as long as we continue to make progress, we're going to get there. We will. We totally will. And that's all. That's it. But I am really excited to come back on with the team. We're
Yes.
a riot. We're a riot, all three of us. We're a very good balance of each other. And I'm very excited to get the crew together and talk to you.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'm excited too. Well, we'll see you then. And folks, I hope you found this conversation as fun as I did. Let's see you on the next
Thank
episode.
you.
Take care.
Bye.